all sorted there, right, Adrian?
Alrighty. Good morning, amazing people. Welcome, Chrissy. Welcome, Talia. Welcome, Dino, and welcome, Thandeka. It is great having you guys here today. As Sergeant of Arms, I will be kicking off the meeting, just giving you some welcomes, some ground rules, and then I'll hand over to Thandeka. So, welcome to the Brighton Breakfast Toastmasters Club. We are going to have breakfast served. I hope you guys have all brought your appetites. Yeah. Chrissy, did you bring an appetite? I forgot to tell you. If you'd like, the bathrooms are outside to your right-hand side. Female bathrooms are on the left, and the male bathrooms are on the right, Dino. And yeah, that is going to be our meeting for today. I'd like to now hand over to Thandeka, who's going to give us the welcoming and role introductions. Over to you, Thandeka.
That's right. Logical. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yes, I know it's a cold morning, but congratulations for making it. Adrian, as you're the only one online for now, good morning. We are happy to see you online. As Matthew has said, thank you so much, Matthew. As Matthew has said, I am the Toastmaster, right? Yes. Yeah, and I must say it's my first time being Toastmaster today, but I've learned from my fellow Toastmasters doing this, and the first time is always the best time.
Oh,
nice. Yeah. So my role today is to make sure that we go according to program, and I will start by introducing our role players, starting with mine. Mine is to coordinate the meeting and make sure that the role players know their roles, they've introduced themselves, and then we will the meeting is divided into two sessions. There's the prepared speech, and after the prepared speech, our prepared speech person today is Dino Lupini. After the prepared speech, we'll take a break, and then we'll also have the second session, which is the impromptu. Thank you so much. We call it table topics. So you can either volunteer for the table topics, but the table topics master will introduce that session and tell you what exactly is expected. So for today, I will then ask each role player to come in front and introduce themselves and let us show enthusiasm in welcoming them. I will start with the timer. Mr. Dino Lupini.
Yes, let's come to the front.
Yes, please, so we can see you. Thank you, Dino.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Dino Lupini. One of my roles I will be taking on today is timer. Timing is very important when structuring a speech. We have, as Thandeka said, we've got two sections, prepared speakers and then impromptu. The prepared speaker will not be presenting today because life got in the way. Apologies, Mr. Toastmaster. But generally, prepared speeches would be between 5 to 7 minutes, whereby at 5 minutes, we would switch on the green light. At
6 minutes, the amber light, and then these are batteries are flat. Lastly, red is on 7 minutes. We normally keep it on until 7.5 minutes, and then we'll at 7.5 minutes start ringing a bell or throwing it at the individual. Okay. It's important to make sure that you are within that time lot, because you might, a lot of times you do yabber on for too long and people lose their concentration. So it's all about being having a structured speech within the allocated time. The second session will be about table topics, impromptu. We'll be talking for, is it 1 to 2 minutes? Okay, so at 1 minute, I'll be putting on the green light. At 1.5 minutes, I'll put on amber, and then red, 2 minutes, and then 2:30. Cool. Thank you very much. Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Dino. Thank you so much. Also, I will then do a big grammarian. I'm going to be an accountant and a grammarian. And right now I'll introduce myself as a grammarian. My job as a grammarian is to listen as you speak, the prepared speaker, everybody who will be speaking, even during the table topics. So I will listen to the good use of the English word, but we also have the word of the day. Word of the day is vulnerability, right? We all know what vulnerability is. So in whatever you say, you make sure I will be listening to how have you used the word, have you used it at all, how many times? Yes. And then I'll also be counting your R's and M's. You know, we sometimes when we speak, and I'm sure as you're sitting there, you are noticing as I'm standing here, I'm using some crush words. You know, a crush, a person doesn't want to let go of a crush. A crush is quite comfortable because if you let go of it, you will fall. So when we speak, sometimes we use those words, R, M. So I'll be taking note of the number of times that the person has used those words. Then we also have the educational. Mr. Matthew, can you first of all tell us what educational is about? And then afterwards, then you can take on your slot as educational. Thank you. Welcome.
Good morning again. We've got Angela on the screen. Good morning, Angela. And good morning to our visitors and guests again. So my name is Matthew, and I'm going to be doing an educational. Why are educationals so fundamental to our experience as Toastmasters? Is because educationals constantly remind us of the skills that we're trying to cultivate when we come to the club. It's a reminder of why we come and visit, what we're practicing, and what we're hoping to become. So hoping to become, I mean in terms of good public speakers. So my educational today is going to focus on 3 core concepts of public speaking. The first one is why good public speaking skills are important. 2, it's going to focus on giving great evaluations. And 3, it's going to focus on what I would like to call think fast table topics. Or actually, let me switch that one out and call it your first speech. All right. So let's start with why good public speaking skills are so important. Think about what it means to be a leader, what it means to be able to communicate your ideas. Think about how you engage with your daily environment. One of the things that you're constantly doing is you're constantly speaking. And when you're speaking, you need to be able to speak to inspire. You need to be able to speak to persuade. And when you're trying to persuade and when you're trying to inspire people, the most important thing is that people need to understand what you are saying and how you are saying it. They need to be able to relate to the message that you're putting across. So as Toastmasters, we're encouraged to have some very good, we're inspired See, I love Toastmasters because I can make mistakes and not feel judged standing here in front. We're inspired to create, we're inspired to, breathe, nervousness. This is nervousness. We're inspired to cultivate. There's the word. Good. Thank you. I love the affirmation. We're inspired to cultivate good vocal communication skills. So that is number one, the importance of having great communication skills so that you can inspire and so that you can persuade. So number two, if you know that you've got great vocal speech, you've got great vocal skills, and you want to communicate, how do you go about communicating? It is starting with your first speech. I'm going to be very vulnerable with you here. Because vulnerability is a theme and it's something I've been practicing this week. Your first speech is one of the most important speeches that you'd ever have to give. I remember when I had to give my first speech, I was really scared. I was literally shaking in my knees. It was during my matric year. I was invited to come speak in front of the class, right? And I'm the type of person that when you walk into the room, I'm literally right in the corner, sitting there, head down, and I'm not trying to be seen at all. I was that child. Now imagine that child being called up to come and speak in front of an entire class. I walked up, I was shaking, I was breathing heavily, and I got there and it felt like death. My knees were weak. My armpits were, y'all don't want to know what was going on with my armpits. And I was about to open my mouth to speak. I choked. Like, People were like, do you need to throw up, Max? I'm like, And I was like, breathe. But the moment I uttered my first word, I said, hi. That was all it took. Hi. And I eventually went into, my name is Matthew. The confidence came. My knees stopped shaking. My armpits were still wet and uncomfortable, sure, but I was flowing into my speech. And so that was my first speech. It was literally, hi, my name is Matthew. I'm scared. I'm going to go sit down now. And I left the stage. That's the thing about your first speech is, when you're giving your first speech, it's always going to be scary. You're always going to feel like you're not saying the right things and you're not confident enough to do it. But the important thing about my first speech or your first speech is just saying hi. That's all it takes to get into the flow. So your first speech at Toastmasters, what is that about? Your first speech at Toastmasters is all about being vulnerable. It's all about introducing your story, telling us something about you. And the idea is to get comfortable speaking in front. So if you want to start your public speaking, and if you want to learn how to become better Toastmasters, always think back to your first speech. What inspired you to give your first speech? What were the feelings you were experiencing when you gave your first speech? Were you scared? And how have you grown since then? Because every other speech that you give in your Toastmasters experience is going to be a build-up from your first speech. Number 3, evaluations. It is the bread and butter of being a Toastmaster. Evaluations. One of the things I really sucked at was giving evaluations. People would always ask me, Matt, what did you like about my speech? Or Matt, what did you think about this? And I'd always be scared and say, yeah, it was nice, but deep down I know, it wasn't the best. And sometimes the opposite would happen, and people would ask me, what do you think about my speech? And I'd be like, your speech was whack. And that would hurt their feelings. Toastmasters has taught me that that evaluations are meant to be constructive, but are also meant to encourage the other person to do better. You can't allow, people are unable to do better if you're always going to, mollycoddle them. So that's what Toastmasters taught me, how to give an effective evaluation. Focus on what you loved about the speech. I statements. I loved the way you speak, Matt. I love the way you're standing there. I love how you keep looking at the ceiling like there's something interesting going on there. Right, Matt, I love just your energy in general, but I think you can be more straightforward. I think you can be more confident. I think I would love to see you be more animate in front of the stage. Those are the things that we focus on when giving evaluations. And when you're evaluating someone, those are the things that you focus on. And why is it so important to focus on the things that stand out for you? Is because when you're focusing on the things that stand out for you, you automatically program it into your brain as well to say that when I'm giving a speech, I remember Matt kept looking at the roof and it didn't look so interesting for me. So maybe while I'm giving a speech, I should avoid looking at the roof. 2, another example, Matt was speaking too fast. I got lost in the middle of his educational. So maybe I should speak a little slower. And the third part of the evaluation is encouraging people how to challenge yourself. So Matt, I loved your speech. You spoke too fast and you kept looking at the ceiling. So I'd like to encourage you to rather challenge yourself by focusing more on the crowd and making eye contact. That is my educational for you today. 1, the importance of good public speaking skills. A recap: to persuade and to inspire. And to do so, people need to understand what you're saying and you need to be able to articulate yourself properly. 2, once you are able to get your good communication skills, or how do you start working on them? You give your first speech. Be vulnerable in your first speech. It is the only time in Toastmasters that nobody will judge you because you're a newbie. Your first speech. And if you're an experienced Toastmaster, go and remind yourself of your first speeches and what you got from that, the feelings that you experienced and how much you've grown from that. And number 3, learn how to give effective evaluations. We are here to help each other grow as Toastmasters, and therefore we need to be able to give effective feedback. So ladies and gentlemen, that is my educational for today. I hope you took notes, mental notes, physical notes, whatever notes, because we will be practicing it. I'm hoping to see you practice it during our table topics session. This is me, Matt, just Matt. I'm done. You're welcome to clap for me now. Toastmaster.
Wow, Matt, that was such an inspiring speech. Don't you feel so? I agree.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yes, evaluation is coming, so you'll get more constructive and detailed feedback. Ladies and gentlemen, I feel inspired already. I want to implement Matthew's advice. So from here, we've indicated that we don't have a main speech, but we are now going to go into our table topics. The other thing that I need to alert you is that we did not appoint an evaluator. So everybody is going to give an evaluation feedback according to our president. He gave us a program this morning, saying everybody is going to give an evaluation feedback. Angela, welcome. I don't know whether I should look at you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, glad to have you. So, Mr. Dino Lupini, table topics.
Can we just give me
Sure,
just 5 minutes, or can you just set up?
that's right.
So we can project it on the screen. And I
Yes.
think that time we maybe place orders for breakfast and
Please send me your orders on WhatsApp.
yeah, and just
I'll have whatever you guys are having, as long as it's not vegetarian.
presentation.
To keep you busy,
How do you project?
ladies and gentlemen, and the ones that are online, you would remember from Matthew's speech that taking responsibility for your personal development really is an important thing that you can learn. I'm sure all of us here have basic education and some tertiary education. However, putting what you've learned into practice sometimes can be the hardest. So most of us think we can stand up and speak, but once we are here, then you start seeing the ceiling, like Matthew said, and then you're like, oh my gosh, can they see that I'm sweating? Can they see that I'm panicking? So, yes.
Madam Toastmaster, so while we preparing for the table topics, I would like to suggest a little warm-up in which our guests get to introduce themselves,
Yes.
to reintroduce themselves to everybody that's in the club and on screen.
All right, I think that's a good idea. So should we start with the lady on the left? Please.
Good morning. My name is Chris Sitole, and I'm from Four Ways. And it's actually not my first time to be at Bryanston Toastmasters. I was here before COVID, and I think that was around 2019. So Toastmasters is something that I'm really looking forward to, because I'm sure, as you can see, I struggle with with standing in front of people and presenting, or just talking. So I'm looking forward to be part of Toastmasters so that I can have more confidence in speaking in front of people, presenting whatever. As the Toastmaster was saying, that sometimes anything that you would have learned at tertiary, sometimes you can't even present to people because you are so scared, you have no confidence. So I'm hoping that with this journey that I'm decided to take, I'll be able to present myself. Yes, so I don't know if it's over, but yeah, I'm a mother of two. I have a pigeon, I have a boy who's 25 and a girl who's 20. So yeah, thank you very much.
Okay. Wow, thank you so much. It didn't look like you're scared and all of that. Thank you so much. We're all looking forward to knowing you better. Madam, the floor is yours.
So much. Come on, let's save some time.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. So my name is Talia Guneke. I am currently a commercial trainee at Colgate Palmolive. Why I joined Toastmasters? I joined Toastmasters because I feel like I would love to improve the way I speak with people. I would love to stop saying during speeches. I absolutely enjoy public speaking. It's something that I want to perfect. It's a skill that I realized I have that I'd love to leverage. Yeah, and that's about it. I don't really have much experience speaking. I mean, I'm 23 years old, so you can imagine how many times I've actually spoken to a large group of people. Being in corporate, I've learned that you learn to speak with a lot of grown managerial people, and it becomes very tricky and very, what's the word I'm looking for? It becomes scary. And I don't want to be scared. I want to be able to speak and articulate myself well without over-explaining myself, and just grow to be the best public speaker I could possibly be. And that's it.
Wow, Chrissy, we're really looking forward to hearing from you. And you forgot to remind them that for today, you're the youngest member.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you've dethroned Matthew. Mr. Table Topics Master, over to you. Thank you so much.
Very much.
Okay. Morning, everybody. So I didn't explain what table topics are about. Generally, table topics is an impromptu session whereby I'm going to be throwing some lines to you on the screen, and you need to talk for 1 to 2 minutes on it. If you don't reach the 1 minute mark, I'm going to bring you back so you can just carry on standing here for the extra minute. Okay, that's the torture we need to go through. But that's a joke, a horrible one. Yes, I'm a dad, so I've got a little 1-year-old. So yes, I do get sidetracked and I do tell horrible jokes. So that's my curse. So today's table topic theme is powerful music. And this is one of my joys when growing up was listening to pretty much the Beach Boys, Yellow Submarine, who's those guys, the Beatles, and because their lyrics are very clear and very repetitive, and they kind of took me up to a place that I really enjoyed, especially because now you're stuck in a car for 7 hours driving down to the coast. It kind of took you to a place that was really enjoyable. So I've got some quotes from different artists that it is just a line from one of their songs. I'll read out the line to you with the artist's name. And I would like you to maybe talk what you feel from the line, or what maybe it's a memory that comes to memory. And yeah, just enjoy yourselves. 1 to 2 minutes of expressing your emotions, your dreams, your aspirations in line with the lyric. Cool. So who's our first volunteer? Thanks, Matt.
Is that?
Please, Matt, come along.
Oh.
Thank you. As you come up, the line will be displayed on the screen, and I'll give it a read. Every little thing gonna be all right. At once.
Right, cool. Thank you, Mr.
Toastmaster.
Don't worry about a thing, because every little thing gonna be all right.
Oh man.
This is my message to you. I love that. That was such a perfect transition into my message. Everything is going to be all right. When I think of that, I'm reminded of the struggles that I had to overcome this week. This week was one of the most frustrating weeks for me because I realized that I'm in love with the girl and I'm not sure how I'm going to tell her that I'm in love with her. So that had me really frustrated because I was like, guys, I've been out of the dating pool for a while because there's a lot going on today, right? And as I was sitting in my bed on Monday, it wasn't Monday, it was on Wednesday, I was extremely frustrated. And I was like, Matt, you know what? Actually, just go tell her what's the worst that could happen. And I did. And she just smiled. So I think, just on that note, just being able to tell her and just getting that smile, and I'm still here standing despite the fear and despite the anxiety that I had, is a reminder that everything is gonna be all right. At the end of the day, I just gotta do it. If I'm experiencing fear, if I'm experiencing anxiety, I just have to do it, because at the end of the day, everything is gonna be all right. Maybe not my heart, but everything else will be all right. Thank you, Mr.
Thanks, Matt. Everything's going to be all right. Could have been worse, eh? Instead of a smile, could have been a frown or a cry, or I don't know.
She could have blocked me.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Great opening. Thank you for that. Thank you for that high-pitched vocal variety. Fantastic. On the mark. Tandeka, you're next. So come along. Let's do this. I will survive as long as I know how to love. I know I will stay. I will. So there's a lyric written on the board now. I would like you to how does this line relate to you and what story could you tell? Like Matt, he was in a situation under stress and he doesn't know how he's going to be able to move forward, but he made himself vulnerable and he had a little chat to his little girlfriend, his little fling, and he got a smile. And it didn't break his heart. That was a lovely little story. So I would like you to, that's great. How are you going to survive? Welcome.
Thanks, Dino. I had to verify the instructions again because I had medicine. We don't expect it to sing, right? So thank you, Table Topics Master, Mr. President, and fellow Toastmasters. I will survive. Oh, as long as I know how to love, I will stay alive. The feeling that I get in my heart when I see these lyrics, I feel that it gives me hope, and it reminds me when I was driving home on the 18th of March. I was driving to the Eastern Cape, and I just experienced the most unusual anxiety, which I've never felt before. And I was driving, I was the only driver, I was with my son. And as you know, we drive through the mountain passes and stuff like that, and it can be windy. And because that route to PE, it's a trade route in South Africa, there were these big trucks, and they know how to navigate that road. So they were just impatient. And I just had to remind myself that at the end of the day, I know how to drive. I'm an experienced driver. As long as I do certain things, as long as I know where the brakes are, where the accelerator is, as long as I can see the road, I'm fine. And I would then, when I find a patch on the side of the road, a place where you can just, get off the road and stop, I would do that, and just to avoid the crazy car behind me. And I would sit there, calm myself down, and my son would also calm me down and say, "You're okay, Mama." But the most scary thing was the fact that I couldn't explain what was happening. I've driven on that road so many times, and suddenly I'm experiencing this anxiety. So then I reminded myself that, look, we're gonna get to the end of the road. Ultimately, I'm gonna get to the part where the road is not winding. And indeed, we got home safely. As you can see, I'm here, I'm back, and thank you so much.
Thanks, Tandeka. Thank you very much. Hey. I want to make a comment quickly. Your winding roads. Make it up here. Hey. Hey. Tandeka did a speech 2 weeks ago for us, and one of the things that she wanted to practice was her hand gestures. It's one of those things. As soon as my hand starts moving, it's a little dead fish just starts flapping around. So these are good ways of moving your hands at it. And thank you. The winding of the road. Just get it up. Okay, cool. But your anxiety is a serious thing that we need to address. Because it overwhelms you with this blanket. Okay, I've got, who would be our next volunteer? Should we go online? Angela or Adrian, are you guys there? Would you be able to try to take part?
Yes, I knew I can't get away from this.
Thank you.
Great, I won't be afraid, just as long as I stand by me. Oh, thank you. I won't be afraid, just as long as you stand by me. It could be anything that can be afraid, but there is so much things that are happening in my life right now, and it could actually be overwhelming and also be afraid. But as long as you know I'm in the club, you are here with me and standing by me and supporting me, I think that is the biggest support that I ever have. And it's so many things. Like yesterday, I had a physical MC for the first time. It's so overwhelming because we're so used to this whole Zoom and behind the camera. Sometimes we can even cheat, looking at the screen. That's all those speeches are there while we are talking. But, actually can be quite overwhelming when you see a physical person. So I love to join you guys next time and have breakfast with all of you for the next meeting. But I actually have so much support from my family. My family says to me, Angela, you are doing so well. You just have to show up and be yourself, and we are there and standing by you. Stand by me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Angela. Thank you very much. So where am I at? Again, anxiety and stress, overwhelm. There's lots of things going on. I'm going to have another person in the room speak who would like to have a shot. Can we just get the next slide on? Go and try. Okay.
Both of their hands went up at
the same time.
I've never seen that before.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh, Destiny's Child. I'm a survivor. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to work harder. Ooh, that's nice. That's nice and appropriate. Okay. I'm a survivor. That's how it goes. I'm a survivor. I'm a giver. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna work harder. Over to you.
Oh, yes.
Go for it. You like?
I'm sure this is quite relevant. Eh? For me being here the first time today, but honestly, I'll never gonna stop. I'll work harder. I'll work hard with this journey of being a Toastmasters. I know I will survive. I know it won't be easy. It won't be easy coming up with a speech and standing in front of people, talking for, is it 6 to 5 minutes? I know it will be a mountain to climb, but I will survive. I promise I will survive. I will not stop, regardless of anything that comes on the way. I will not stop. I will survive. I'll just press on. I'll work on my what do you call, on my personality, to make sure I'm able to stand and speak, to make sure I'll have this confidence to go on. I will survive. I will not stop. Thank you.
I have to hold you up for a minute. Well done. Hey, excellent. So another skill set within public speaking is, well, this is what I've learned from Toastmasters. I've always known that there's a formula to giving good, helpful presentations and speeches. And one of the things that I have learned here is that each speech has a general introduction. General introduction, a body, like where your story is, and then the conclusion. And generally the conclusion kind of wraps in the, you want to see your next speech. Your conclusion wraps up your entire speech together. And that is generally how every time you do a presentation, kind of, that's your little formula. What's your introduction? What are you going to be doing? What is your story, your anecdote? And then your conclusion, wrapping everything up. Now, the anecdotes, your body, will determine how long you'll be speaking for. So a 1 to 2 minute speech, you normally just give one little anecdote, that's it. A 5 to 7 minute speech, you'll probably get 3. And yes, it's normally odd numbers. Don't ask me why. There's a formula. If you can stick to it. Cool. Would you like to, have you seen what your topic is?
No.
Just push next. Sorry, we just give it a click.
Oh, no.
No. Yeah, there you go. I hear babies cry. I'll watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Being the baby of the group, welcome. I think this is very appropriate for you. You got this. Give out anything, even about the picture in the background. Best of luck. Enjoy.
Okay, so my lyric is, I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They learn much more than they'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. This lyric is perfect for me today, just because I am the baby of the group. And it's true, as a baby, I cry. Right now, I'm in the crying stage where I'm trying to figure out this life thing. I'm trying to figure out how to balance work, personal life. I'm trying to learn to be a better public speaker, as my elders are. And at this stage, I believe that as a baby, I will get to a point where I will learn. The aim of being here is to learn and to grow as an individual. And by allowing myself to be vulnerable with people, it will allow me to grow. And in growing, it will be a wonderful world. I will grow to be a beautiful public speaker. I will grow to learn to be able to articulate myself clearly. I believe that the world is massive, and given the right tools, I'll be able to succeed. And that's basically why this lyric is so beautiful for me.
1 minute, well done. One thing I liked about what you were doing is you stood fast. A lot of the times people have this notion of pacing back and forth like they're on a boat, and they're just trying to stay afloat. But you held yourself, you had a nice powerful leg pose, and you held fast. So well done with that. And I didn't actually see what the next lyric is. Oopsie. Is Adrian online? He just came back. Adrian, how's your connection, your connectivity? Adrian, are you there? I think it's unfortunate he's not going to be able to connect. He's not coming through. Should we?
Is that no?
No. It should be some sort of signal, right? Okay. Who would like to have another shot like this? You're beautiful no matter what they say.
Okay.
So there's a lot.
Tandeka? Let's
Okay.
go. Tandeka, you're beautiful
Should I?
no matter what they say. I don't know who's saying this, but here we go. Enjoy.
Thank you. Unlike Matthew, who recently found a girlfriend, who would be saying to him now, you're beautiful, no matter what they say. I can't say that, but I believe I am beautiful, no matter what they say. These lyrics, I feel that every young girl, right? Most importantly, every young girl, I'm raising a boy, and I'm not discriminating gender-wise, but I think it's very, very important for little girls. Mr. Dino, you have a baby. It's very important for little girls to know that they are beautiful, no matter what they say, because if as women, we don't embrace that, if we don't believe that we are beautiful and beauty is not defined by somebody else, we would struggle in life. There's a whole lot of issues that face us. When we grow up, our metabolism is different from yours. We retain more weight than men, our bodies change. And if you don't have that inner strength to tell yourself that it doesn't matter whether I lose my hair. We had a recent incident now where somebody was beating up somebody because their wife's hair was no longer growing because they were having this medical condition. But if you stop defining women by their physical appearance and give them the confidence, then we will not be seeing such incidents where people have to mind what they are saying, how they speak, because somebody looks different. So you are beautiful, no matter what you say.
Eternal confidence. Hey, Tandeka, well done. Thank you. Thank you for that, Tandeka. So yeah, one of the things is that an anecdote is, like we mentioned earlier, is we want to try and bring in our personal stories, because a personal story is easy to articulate. We don't have to fabricate anything. We don't have to look at the stereo to actually create something. But a story of the past is naturally brought on. So thanks for bringing up your son and bringing my daughter into the scenario. So Adrian, how's your connectivity there? Are you going to be able to talk 1 to 2 minutes?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Okay. No, I switched to my phone. The iPad here was just switching on and off and going haywire all the time. So if you can hear me now, then I'm ready to talk.
Okay, lovely. So can you see the theme for the day? Can you see the lyric? I'm going to read it out to you.
Just remind me of the theme again. Where is that?
The lyric is on the screen. I'll read it out to you.
I've got the word of the day was vulnerability. What's the theme? Okay.
So don't worry. I would like you to talk to a lyric that I've got on the screen.
Okay, no, I'm with you. Don't you know that there ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, baby. Okay.
Baby. There you go.
Baby, yes, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, when I sort of look back at my life and the things that, in terms of girlfriends and marriage and stuff of that kind of nature, I was a very late starter, I think, from the romantic side of things. And I remember falling in love with a Persian girl, beautiful, beautiful girl, when I was at college. That was probably my first time that I had a lady in my life there. And I was so upset when she decided she didn't want to be my boyfriend anymore. And then basically, yeah, I had the odd girlfriend every now and then, but nothing too serious there. This was after, no, I got married. I got married to a girl called Anne number one, and things went very well initially there. And then things went sour, and then unfortunately, we divorced. And then I met my current Anne, my wife now. And she's a very special lady. And right now we're in Phuket together. And I must admit, she's a very special lady in terms of she's got a wonderful family. We're staying with family here. So as far as I know, there's no mountain high enough. There ain't no mountain low enough. Ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, my baby, my lovely wife, Anne. Thank you.
Thanks, Adrian. It seemed like your voice warmed up there, right there, didn't it? I honestly was thinking nails on a chalkboard as you started, but right then it became nice and smooth. I love it. Thank you.
Yeah, the wonderful thing about this is a lovely thing for the Samsung phone is actually quite adequate for for the meetings there. I can see basically your wording clearly there. I can see you standing clearly there. So,
Thank you. Yeah,
so it's a
just
big
with
difference.
all camera work, it's I'm looking up your nose at the moment, and you need some plucking. I'm just saying, just tear up a bit.
Well, yeah, okay. Cheers, everybody. No, I can't see my. Yeah, can I see myself? What do I have to do to see myself and everybody else? I don't know.
A mirror will do.
No, I can. Yeah, I can't see myself there, but because I don't know. Okay, and I'll leave it as it is. I don't want to mess up anymore. I can see basically what's going on now.
You're doing well. Thank you. Thanks.
Okay.
So I want to move on to the next one. Who's going to give another shot? Another shot? Is anybody up there?
My life.
Okay. Come along. Let's go. Let's go. Who's this? Bon Jovi.
Ooh.
It's my life. It's now or never. Oh, man. Bon Jovi is
Okay.
So my lyric is, it's my life and it's now or never, because I ain't gonna live forever. I just want to live while I'm alive. It's my life. So this lyric is actually so appropriate for my life right now, considering that I've come to a realization that life is actually really short. We have to maximize everything we can do in this life. And given my recent experiences, I'm realizing that I'm 23, I'm a baby, and I've got time when I don't have time. So I'm at a point in my life where I've decided that I want to live my life. I want to do all the things I've said I've always wanted to do, but never actually actioned. Hence, I'm here. I've said I wanted to come to Toastmasters for the past 2 years. And this is my first Toastmasters class. And I must say, I am rather impressed with myself for executing what I've said I'm going to do. Being 23 and saying, oh no, I'm so young, with so many friends who are like, yeah, we'll do it next year. Next year comes and next year goes, and we still haven't done it. And I've decided that it's my life. I'm going to take control of my life. I can only be accountable for what I do and where I go, what I say, but I want to live my life to the fullest. Should it end tomorrow, I never want to feel like I never lived. I never want to regret and say, oh, I should have done this and I should have done that. I want to leave this earth saying that I enjoyed my life thoroughly. I want to leave saying that I did everything I said I would do. And I want to leave saying that I was happy. My main goal in life is to be happy. And that's why it's my life.
I'm loving the context. You guys are putting together stories beautifully, and it's really enjoying myself. Thank you very much. Okay, I think we've got two more. Okay, who wants to try the next one? Because this is the section's about thinking fast. So are we gonna be ready, Matt?
I was actually hoping for the last one, whatever that is.
Okay, Angela.
Okay, I read. Oh my God. Okay. It is a beautiful day. Don't let it get away.
Who's YouTube? I couldn't consider. Over to you, Angela.
Great. Thank you. It is a beautiful day. Don't let it get away. How beautiful today is. It's not just every day. It could be rainy day, but it just really depends your inner reflections of the day. It could be so horrible and many things goes wrong, but you can always make it happy and beautiful every day and meaningful. And I remember when the time that I climbed Kilimanjaro, and it was really, really hard, and I have to like really train so hard to be there. And when I get to the top at the summit, in the middle of the night, we climbed almost 20 hours to get to the top, but see the sunrise coming up. It's just a reflection of all the hard work that I have done throughout this whole journey. It's such a beautiful day that it will always in my mind, and I don't want to get it away, because when I have the hardships comes in my life, I will always remind me of that climb and how I get to the top, and just enjoy the moment of each day. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Angela. Beautiful anecdote right there. And I love the hand gesture right there, moving to the top, and the raising of the sun. Fantastic. Mr. President, there you go. Who's going to save the world tonight? Who's going to bring you back to life? Swedish House Mafia, do you know them? Is this a familiar band?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, cool. Enjoy.
Swedish House Mafia. Who's gonna save the world tonight, and who's gonna bring you back to life? Very philosophical question. I love it. And the immediate answer that comes to my head is you. Well, me, but you. You're gonna save the world. You're gonna save the world tonight, and you can only bring you back to life. I want to. I'm moving a lot. There was something that one of our table topic speakers said, where she said, "This is my life, and I'm going to live it my way." Only you can bring you back to life, because you know what life feels like for you. You know what it means to bring you alive. And here's the important thing that I've learned about taking accountability for your life and understanding what brings you back to life, is you begin to live out your most authentic life. I remember last year I started this journey of understanding what is your authentic self and what is the value that you bring into the world. And I realized that one of the things that I love doing is I love talking, I love smiling, I love eating, I love hugs. And I've got a 5-inch, not a 5-inch, a 50-centimeter teddy bear called Stitch that I absolutely love. If you've watched Lilo and Stitch, you know what he looks like. That is that. And it is those 5 things that bring me back to life, and they allow me to live out my most authentic self. So why is that so important in the context of this? Is that if you want to save the world, and if I want to save the world, I first need to understand what is the value that I bring. And I need to come into the world every single day as me, my most authentic self. I love High School Musical, by the way, as well. And you know, it is things like these that I believe are going to save the world tonight. The world is full of people that are trying to be something that they're not. The world is full of people that don't understand who they are and the value that they bring into the world. So how do we expect the world to be saved by people who don't even know who or what they are? So who's going to save the world tonight? Me, my most authentic self, because I bring me back to life. Thank you very much, Mr. Table Topics Master, to the audience.
Nice, Matt. Pastor Matt.
I should be appreciated.
Excellent. Well, I think we learned quite a bit about ourselves today. Congratulations, guys, for taking part in your first table topic session this year. And well done for not putting it off until later on. And well done online. Fantastic job. That is my role completed for the morning. Thank you very much. I would like to hand back to our Toastmaster for the morning. We can just welcome Thandeka to the front. Thank you. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you, Dino. Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master, and all the members that are here. That was quite an interesting one to hear how everyone just put those lyrics into life and the feelings that are coming out of those lyrics. Very inspiring. As it is 10 o'clock, we are going to take a short break, 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, because the food is not here yet. But we'll take a 5 minutes break and we'll be back at 10:05, right? Remember, afterwards, everybody's gonna give an evaluation. The evaluation will focus on vocal clarity, hand gestures, eye contact, but I'll repeat them again just before introducing the subject. Thank you. Let's take a break.
Let's show us your first morning. You've got, if you haven't done Toastmasters before.
Just a reminder, please vote for your best table topic speaker. Send that to me via WhatsApp.
Oh.
And you guys are gonna video it. That's a good question. That's a good question. I think I sent you a iMessage. Oh, an iMessage. We are signing you up for the contest next year. Evaluation. What do they call it? Impromptu contest. So every year, Toastmasters has a competition where you've got evaluators, impromptu speakers, and prepared speakers go and compete against each other. So you have this. Right? Takes place first at club level, which is within the district. If we do it online again, it's going to be hosted online. If we do it in person, there's going to be a specific venue that you can go to. So there's different levels. There's your club level, division, club area, division, and then district. So if you get to as far as districts, they have it in, for example, Zambia, they might have it in Cape Town.
That's pressure.
You think so?
It's
good pressure.
I enjoy talking. It's nice when you're talking about somebody here.
That's what I think you're going to do really great with the evaluation. If you get into the evaluation contest, because that's pretty much what evaluation is about. Not evaluation, table topics. We've signed you up for it. Vote for your favorite table topics. Speaker.
We send it to you on WhatsApp.
Yes, you can send it to me via WhatsApp. It's easier than getting pieces of paper. And then we will also vote for best evaluator.
We're going to get an opportunity to evaluate.
Just a reminder of the topics. Reloading,
Yes.
He's showing us he's enjoying himself.
those are Angela's things.
No, that's
Adrian.
Adrian.
I'm lost here. Can you hear me? I haven't back to meeting. I really totally lost there.
We can eat and go back. Yeah. So Adrian, we love the relaxed look that you've got going on there. We're seeing your amazing legs laid out on the bed, and it just looks superb.
I would have worn pants for this event, at least.
It indicates, as we indicated, everyone is going to evaluate. Thandeka Mxenge, yes, ma'am. You will evaluate Chrissy Sithole. Chrissy Sithole, you will be giving Thandeka feedback on her speaking today. Lilita?
Yeah.
Tilia. Sorry about that. Tilia, you will have been paired with Dino. You'll be assessing Dino, evaluating Dino. Dino Lupini, you'll be evaluating Tilia, not Lilita. Matthew, who you paired with? Angela?
Yeah, she.
Okay. Matthew, Angela, don't worry, I won't look behind me because I've just realized that I must just look at the camera to see you. Okay, Angela, you will evaluate Matthew, and Matthew, you will evaluate Angela. Should we then start? I'll start with Angela. Angela, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Evaluation Chair. Back to the speech earlier that what Matthew has actually gave us, it was really informative, and I really liked the way that how your gesture also coming to the speech, and your vocal variety was also really on point. And just a few things to improve on, like maybe 2 things to improve on, is that I felt that you were keep moving your body a lot. I think you're trying to adjust yourself at the same time and looking at the screen behind you, and maybe just focus, like Kanteka was saying, okay, I will just focus on the video, and this is how I'm going to speak. So when you keep turning up and down, it was quite a bit of a distraction. Another thing is, I just also love your example of giving us an example of, okay, your even your armpit was sweating, you know, that was like really very graphic. I was like, I can feel that as well. Yeah, exactly how I felt about it. Yeah. And well done to you. Thank you for education is so important. And I think you have all the points, and just to tell us how important it is to be one of the Toastmasters. Back to you, our evaluation chair.
Thank you so much, Angela. I don't know if you'd like to be, or no, you must first wait for your evaluation from Matthew before you leave.
Yes, please, yeah.
Matthew, over to you.
Easier.
Okay, sweet. We will focus on the camera this time around. Angela, thank you very much for the amazing table topic speech that you gave. One of the things that I absolutely love about watching you give your speeches is that you're able, despite the fact that you're sitting, you're still able to captivate me as the listener in your speech and in what you're saying. It's very rare for somebody to be able to be sitting and captivating at the same time. So that is one of the strong points that I think you always excel at when it comes to speaking. Your vocal variety throughout. There was a point in the speech where you were laughing and you're giving off that amazing excitement, right? I loved how natural that came through in your speech and how it flowed through with everything. So as a way to challenge yourself, as you continue giving these table topics, I'd like you to challenge yourself by continuously tapping into that emotion that you always portray when you're telling stories. That combined with your ability to storytell makes you such an exceptional speaker. And I really love listening to you because of those 2 points. I'm looking forward to hearing your next prepared speech and possibly a table topic speech. With you, Mrs. Evaluation Chair.
Thank you, Matthew. Thank you so much for that. And Angela, thank you. I'm not sure at what point do you want to be excused? You
Yes. Can I just give a quick evaluations before I go?
okay.
Yeah, great.
Over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Once again, all our guests and our Toastmaster, it was really, I'm not, I don't want to talk from the point of as a aerial director, but I really wanted to say I really see the efforts coming through from your team all the time, coming from the president, the past president, and also Adrian. He's also trying very hard to really put his effort to join the meeting overseas. You know, he's overseas, but he's still here with us. But it's such an effort, you know. It's just 3 things I really, really love about the club is, firstly, I can see the effort coming through, and I could also see this is a physical meeting club. It's the Zoom, it might be quite, it doesn't really fit into your breakfast. There is where people want to get together, and now I could really feel that way. Even I'm here, and it feels like I should just be there and have breakfast with all of you. So that's I understand totally how the club works. And third things, I like really applaud to the president, because he's really trying to put everything together, and please help him, because that is important, that you are there for him as a team, and teamwork is a dream work. That's I always wanted to say. And 2 things to improve on, like, do you really want to have Zoom meeting at the same time having a physical meeting, or you should just focus on having a physical meeting? Because I actually feel quite lonely here. I'm not able to be there with you. So I think it is the club needs to make these decisions. If you want to have both, how are you going to make sure the other side of the person are feeling they are part of you? And the second thing would be communications. What is that? How are you going to, how are you going to have this meeting flowing? It's important. And I would like to challenge that to the club. And please send out the invitation earlier, a lot of communications, and that's where the club really needs support to. And if you need anything, please shout out, and I'm here, and I'm part of the club as well. Thank you once again to our table topic, our Toastmaster. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Angela, for that valuable input. We really appreciate it, and really to encourage everybody that actually we are grateful to our president, and also that we are really behind you, will support you. But thank you so much, Angela, for that valuable feedback. And now we will go to Mr. Dino for Chrissy's, Tilly's, Tilly's evaluation.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, Talia. So we've got quite a few sections we can touch on. So your general persona You give off a specific energy. It seems that you've got a natural feeling behind the camera. So when I was sitting on the side over here, for me, you didn't make any eye contact with me. So when being in the physical presence of the room, yes, I know that that camera is exactly what we want to be focusing on when we are online community, for sure. But when people in the room, we want to give everybody specific attention because it makes you feel precious at that specific moment. The stories that you brought up, you made it relatable. We did highlight in the beginning of the meeting that you are the youngest, and the table topic line actually brought that out again, and you brought it into your speech, which is fantastic. You do have a natural confidence about yourself. Honestly, like I mentioned, you don't sway. You understand what your hands are doing, especially those nails. They just bling, it's sparkle. But you have this calmness about yourself. So what you mentioned earlier throughout the day is that you speak too much, and you seem to blabber on about specific things that you don't think add value. But for me today, I think you spoke specifically to the context of the table topic, and I was really engaged with your conversation and with your speech. So keep up that work. And yeah, you've got some talent within you that I believe Toastmasters will be able to help you out to flourish going forward. So congratulations. Thanks. Topics. Was I call him Talia? Comfortable, man.
I'm still trying to think, how am I going to tell you that you called me Tanya? We know we miss her. Unfortunately, she's not here. Thank you so much for that great feedback evaluation, Ms. Tilly. Please come and evaluate Dino Lufile.
Thank you, Dino, so much for the feedback. I really appreciate it. Dino, I absolutely loved how you came up and you explained exactly what we needed to do, because I think you provided, I know that you provided a lot of clarity as to what the task was at hand. And how you spoke, I like how you communicated clearly. You didn't yabber. I'm very conscious of people yabbering because I think I yabber. So I loved how you were clear, even your pronunciation of words. You speak, you project very well, which I thoroughly enjoyed. I, for now, don't really know what I can critique you on. I think during the next session, I'll be able to critique you a bit more. I wasn't expecting to do like a full-on evaluation this in depth. But thank you so much. I really enjoyed watching you speak because there were things that I noticed that I wanted to embody when I spoke. So yes.
Thank you so much, and thank you again, Tilly. This being your first time, you did well. Don't worry. I know. Yes, so now we're gonna call up Ms. Tanega Mxenge to give the evaluation of Chrissy Sithole. That's me. Thank you. Chrissy, wow. I actually felt intimidated sitting there when you came here the first time. And without mentioning that, you know, once you started telling us about your weaknesses, then you started succumbing to that. But you had confidence. You stood up here, morning, you know, you told us about yourself. So I think at the end of the day, what is happening in our heads ultimately affects our how we project ourselves. but I was quite happy with your vocal clarity. You were calm. You know, you seemed confident, even though you admit that, you know, you need to boost your confidence. But I think for now, for me today, you were quite confident up until you get to that point where you reminded yourself that you're new here. Yes, and I don't see a lot of distracting hand gestures, but you do use your hands, so be conscious, as we all are struggling with using hand gestures. But you unlike the Matthew and I, we even sway. You were not swaying. Yeah. And you're aware of the audience. You looked at us, though you were shy at some point. You were looking, I think you were looking down like this. But try and make sure that you look at us, find the person with the most bright color, like Dino, then find you like red. So yes, and what you were saying was interesting. Also, when you were introducing yourself, you told us about your son. I mean, your parenting, and but also during table topics, your response was quite interesting. So you kept us engaged. Thank you very much. Well done, Thandeka, for that valuable input. I'm sure Chrissy will take it and implement. Chrissy Sitole, now it's your turn. Please come and evaluate Thandeka's table topic.
Thank you, Thandeka. Thank you, everyone. I'm sure it's quite difficult to evaluate somebody when there's still a baby in the house, but I'll try. One thing I liked about Thandeka is the composure. Like when she speaks, she's so composed, so relaxed. Thandeka is somebody you can sit and listen to, because she delivers, like she's, you know, so composed, as I've just mentioned. I mean, just the other day I was listening on the radio when they appointed the new police commissioner. People were so critical of him, like how he spoke. So I mean, the way you present yourself really says a lot about you. So I'm hoping the new commissioner will deliver, I mean, regardless of what they were saying about him, because the way he spoke, people were so, they just didn't like him. He didn't present himself well. So all I'm saying is the way you are presenting yourself, you know, one can see, like when you were relating about your journey to the Eastern Cape, you know, I caught everything you said. You mentioned your son, your anxiety. I mean, one could just focus and listen and get the story. So yeah, as I just mentioned, that as a newbie, I don't have much really to say, but thank you for the composure you showed.
Thank you so much, Ms. Chrissy Sitole. On that first evaluation of yours, you did very well, and Thandeka will take that and implement the encouragement that you gave. Also, I think as a club, we should take note and try and find the new police commissioner. Maybe he must join our club. Yes, you know, must find the spokesperson there on Twitter. So now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take the reports from our role players. The first report will be from our grammarian and our counter. Collectively, So my role as an accountant, as I said, that I will be picking up the crutches that we all use, and I'm going to be giving individual reports, feedback, give each person, but also tell us the collective number of our crutch word. And I'll start with that. As a group, we had about 18 crutch words, 18, which is not so bad at all. I think, don't know, maybe it's because we are few, but in the past we would have a lot. So we are getting there. Then I will first go to yes. So when I do grammarian, I will give feedback on this. Actually, I give both reports at the same time. Adrian, with the arms and R, given that you are in Phuket and we couldn't, probably because we couldn't talk a lot, you didn't have a lot of arms. You had one, and you used the word of the day, vulnerability. So I think being in that environment there has calmed you down, and you're more confident, and having your wife there next to you or talking about your wife really takes out all the arms and are something that you are sure about. So that's Adrian. Tilly, you had 6 fillers. You used the word of the day. Your fillers are is you use are twice, you use and you use so, you used and, you use like, right? My friends would be like. Okay, so that's 6. So I think when you have more time to think, but it's not a lot. I mean, it's only 6. Some of us, when we start, actually, even not when we started, even now, we still have a lot of fillers, especially when you're feeling nervous. But you then relaxed as you were coming more and more to the podium. With regards to the grammarian report, I didn't pick up the word of the day. Did you use vulnerability? No, you use vulnerable. Why didn't I? Oh, you did. Sorry, I wrote it there. You use vulnerable. Well done. And with regards to grammar, you had a very good use of the English word. You used interesting words like having to maximize, when you're trying to, the minute you use those words, the listener actually appreciates the sentence and how you want to elevate the meaning. And then action, instead of saying put into action. So that's interesting using of the word, and executing, and thoroughly. So putting in those good English words in your speech as you were talking. So very well done. Chrissy, you are next. With the fillers, you only had 3 fillers. And the reason you actually have 1 filler, but then you kept repeating, it won't be easy. It won't be easy, because I think you were thinking about going into your next sentence. So that is the filler that I picked up. Otherwise, only 3. Sorry, help me.
No, the guy said that 2 does that. Does the morning show.
Oh, we have a lot of people that we can recruit to our club. Yes, and what really interests me a lot was the fact that when you were talking about how you're going to make sure that you grow, you use the word it will be a mountain to climb, and immediately, it gives me an idea of how tough it's going to be, because unless you are like Angela, who's climbed Everest, Kilimanjaro, it's impossible. It almost sounds impossible. So very well done. So if you should make such you should use the English language like that, demonstrative words. And then Angela is gone. She had 3 arms, fillers. She had 1 arm, and like, so is 2 words. I think it's 1 or 2. Then grammar, when she also used the word, Angela, you must just show up. So showing up does not necessarily mean appearing, but getting up to the task, and it's got different meanings. So I liked how she used that word. And Mr. Junior Lupini, are you ready for this? No, 1.
What?
1 arm, according to my recording. So I didn't hear a soul, because soul was your biggest thing. There was no soul. So today, yeah, so today you were most, I think, Matthew, correct me, he was calm today. He was relaxed.
So lots of wine last night. You left now.
So
Excellent.
yeah. So, and the use of the English word, I liked it when you said, I think something took you to a place. Took you to. I think that's when you were introducing the table topics. Like you were explaining to us that something takes you to a place, and you immediately, even though it does not physically take you to a place, I understand that then your state of mind gets transformed when you get there, so I thank you very much. Mr. Matthew, you used the word of the day. Then you didn't use the word of the day.
I did.
Yeah. Matthew, you used the word of the day a lot, 4 times. And you had four fillers. You had 1 end, right? 2 R's, yes. And then you used good words like cultivate, and interesting words like work and choked and automatically programmed. And also, I liked it when you said that something felt like death. It felt like death. And what is interesting is that you've never died. So, and all of us have never died, otherwise we'd be having a problem. But we understood you, it conveyed the message that it was the most difficult thing. And then I learned a new word, mollycoddling. Yeah, I learned a new word. I'm still gonna Google it, but I assumed what it meant. And in closing, you must tell us more about mollycoddling. And also using words like taking mental notes. Obviously we don't take notes in the head, but so also how you encouraged us to say that your first speech is actually your build up to your next. It doesn't matter how much you mess it up, but if you don't have your first speech, your next one will never come. And the simple beginning and the simple thing that you need to do is hello. Yeah, so with that is my counter and the grammarian report. Thank you, Thandeka. Yeah, thank you for that comprehensive report. And now we move on to the timer. So Mr. Timer, tell us who stuck within the time and who did it.
Thank you. Thank you, Thandeka. Okay, so I'm going to give you the times for the speeches and then the evaluations. So with the evaluations, we had to go between 1 and 2 minutes. So Matthew spoke once, 1 minute 47. Perfect. Tandeka, 2.5 minutes, 1.5 minutes. Average, fantastic. Angela, 1 minute 45 both times. Chrissy spoke once on the table topics, I believe. 1 minute, just. Talia, am I saying that right? Tilia or Talia? No, it's one's either with an A or one's the I. Talia. Hello. Hello. Talia, 1 minute and then 1 minute 54. So you got warmed up, eh? Important to stretch, I guess. Then Adrian, 1 minute 30. Well done, hey? Adrian likes to talk, okay? Adrian likes to talk. Excellent. So everybody, well done. You were able to control your speeches within that time allocation. Now within the evaluations, Angela, 1 minute 4 seconds. Matthew, 1 minute 17. Talia, 1 minute. Tandeka, 1 minute 50. Myself, 2 minutes. Chrissy, I didn't write it down, sorry. But you spoke for the allocated time. Then Angela's general evaluation was for 3 minutes. And Tandeka, your previous evaluation, way too long. Thank you very much. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ms. Timekeeper. You may be wondering why we are even giving you feedback on time. Sticking within the allocated time is important because if you don't, you taking up the next speaker's time. You may also be boring people, you know, not necessarily boring people, but you're taking too long and people get tired. So it's important then to learn to stick within the allocated time. So when you practice your speech, you get then to know, okay, how long am I going to take? But also you shouldn't take very little time, you know, just stay in the podium, speak. Otherwise the meeting will have to end too early because you didn't speak for too long. With that, I'm going to request, we now have all our reports except for the interesting time now of we did the general evaluation by Angela. Okay, so we have all our reports. And then we have our vote card for the best Toastmaster. This is our first.
Votes for the evaluation.
Oh.
Evaluation, yes. So I've got for the table topics, I need for the evaluations.
All right, Matthew, while we do that, can you come and talk to us about Molly Cuddle?
So I need to get the votes for the best table topics. I've got those. And I need for the evaluation who you guys thought gave the best evaluation.
You can vote for yourself. It's fine.
You can vote for yourself, it's fine.
No one's judging you besides the president.
We should have overall best speaker for that. No?
We have that for prepared speakers. For prepared speakers. Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. So have you guys sent through? Have you guys sent? What do you want me to say under Monica? No.
I actually want to hear your explanation of what you got.
Yeah. So that Monica is literally, have you guys ever come across helicopter parents?
Was,
a helicopter parent? Yeah. Dino, please explain helicopter parent.
okay, just imagine what do you envision as a helicopter parent? Okay. Just think about
It's like an absent parent.
no. It's the complete opposite. So a police helicopter hovers over the bad guy and follows him around.
continuously. And they're jumping the wall, the radio down, hey, cops, this is where the bad guy's going. So the mother is normally, I say mother because that's what normally happens. The parent is the helicopter, the baby is the kid, and they just continuously follow the baby around. And it's just about a fall, they're there to catch them or do something wrong, they're there to stop them. So it's it mollycoddles them as it wraps in cotton and prevents it from experiencing life.
Like they treat you like an egg.
Yeah,
Yes.
literally. Helicopter parenting.
Yeah.
Good. So thank you very much, Dino. All right, guys. In the remaining time that we'll have, we will go quickly into the awards for today. So we're going to start off with our best table topic. So just so we understand the awards, the trophy is ours, the ribbon is for the winner. I did get that right, yeah. Okay, sweet. We haven't done awards in a while, so I'm really excited for this. Right, best table topic speaker for today by a landslide. Drum roll, please. Celia. Please come through and get your awards.
Really?
We voted for her.
So that is your one, and you can take a picture of us later if you want. Oh, Dino's taking the picture. Thank you very much, Dino.
I need speech. I'd just like to say thank you to everybody for believing in me.
Thank you, Mom.
Thank you very
Your
much,
mom, thank
Chrissy.
you, Dad. This is just such an amazing moment.
Please pose with the thing you put, Dino. If I will also be sending you a little media release form, gonna write a little blog post on you, just post your our.
Wait, are you serious?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, then you can take your friends.
Yeah. Next, we've got the best evaluator for today. This one was a close one, and thank you, Christy, for showing me, letting me know who you voted for, because that broke the tie. Best evaluator for today, we've got, drum roll please, Dino Lupini.
Oh, yes. Won award, guys, this year.
Someone please take a picture of Dino and send that to me. Oh, no, that's my stuff. Best evaluator. Okay. You can hold it. It's your picture. I don't need to be in the picture.
Come here, present. Come
We
here.
need to see that.
I'm pretty sure they won't be able to see that.
Dino wants to take a picture.
You know, you look like a grade one.
Like I said, first award. Woo!
And yeah, that is our awards ceremony for today. Congratulations to our amazing speakers. I'd like us to also start considering a most improved speaker award. I was absolutely blown away to hear that Dino only had one for today. Those of you that know Dino, Tandeka, Adrian, know that Dino used to average at about 11 to 17 in a meeting, and he's down to one. And his favorite crutch word was "and so," and now it's just So, so definitely most improved. Can we please give Dino? To conclude our meeting, I'd like us to go quickly into on a point. Okay, on a point, to our guests, please let us know, how did you experience today? How was the experience of our meeting? Any areas that stood out for you, and anything that you think we can improve on to make this meeting a lot more exciting, a lot more welcoming, and a lot more beneficial to you as visitors? Any? Lost for words, it's okay. You can come, yeah, it's nice. So you can stay from there, it's all right.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I enjoyed seeing that you guys pay so much attention to detail as to how you speak and what you say. I was not necessarily expecting you to tell me I had and so many songs and lights. But I really think it's really great constructive criticism. Yes, constructive criticism. Just to prove how I speak, because now I can even hear my aunt. So yes, and you guys are very welcoming, which I really do enjoy. Like that's why I was so open to speaking and trying. Yeah, so not everybody would be like that. So thank you. Thank you.
Just echo the sentiments a bit on that. I mean, you guys are just so detailed. Like it's not a child's play.
Yeah, it's seriously.
Like it's serious business. It's really, really encouraging. Like I mean, I was like, who was asking me? I was on my last visit, because on my last visit, I mean, it was quite sad, and I just stood up just to introduce myself. That was it. So today, really, I really felt that I was a bit of
That's great.
Yeah. Adrian, do you want to give any feedback from being online all the way from Phuket? Do you want to say something?
You're mute, Adrian.
When you enter the meeting, you give me permission to unmute you.
Go for it.
Okay, thank you very much. And it was certainly an interesting meeting. Me personally, in terms of trying to just persevere. I just, with Anne's, my wife's iPad here, I was just going on and off all the time, and I didn't know what I was doing there. And then I switched to my my phone, and it seemed to be better. And I had to sort of go and for a couple of occasions there to get sorted out. You know, this camera thing, I was looking at the wrong, you know, there's more than one camera, and I had the wrong one. I was looking at my legs all the time. But overall, it was a good meeting, a very good meeting, I think, in terms of you know, the difficult circumstances. I was expecting to see a lot more people online, so there are sort of concerns there. But as a live meeting, which I certainly prefer every time, is a live meeting, and there was a lot of interaction between each other, favorable interactions between each other, and overall I enjoyed it. You know, I was very tempted, well, you know, to give up trying to make contact there, but I persevered, and I'm really glad that I was able to see the whole show, and particularly hearing from our guests as well, which I think was warmed the cockles of my heart, I thought. Thank you very much. So it was a good session, you know, especially given the circumstances that we find ourselves in. And we keep on persevering, and we will win. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the amazing feedback, Adrian. And just on that note, I'd like to go into on a point, and I'd like to say thank you, Adrian, for making an effort to join the meeting despite the challenges that you're experiencing, and despite being all the way in Phuket. I mean, that just shows your dedication and commitment to your growth, and I absolutely love that. You're on vacation and you had absolutely no reason to join us, but you still did. So I thank you very much for that, Adrian.
Thank you very much indeed. So next time I'm in Phuket until the end of this month, 29th. So we'll have one more meeting with you. So hopefully I'll be able to connect. But the great thing about this club of ours is that you know, you can always grab hold of anybody as a mentor there. And one of my problems I have is this online stuff. You know, my education was before PCs, and I know it can be difficult in trying to sort of connect online sometimes. But and in fact, my next speech, I've got to prepare not a podcast. What's the other one? A blog. I've got to do a blog, and this is where I'm definitely going to need sort of help us to get going there. So And I think the communication between each other, there's a lot of sort of friendships that sort of develop, which I think is important as well, that we can rely on each other to help each other. So that's me. And I'm going to enjoy the rest of the holidays. It's been a very family affair, you know, it's staying with, from my wife's first marriage, she's got one son and two daughters. So the two daughters are here. The son actually is one of those guys who climbs Mount Kilimanjaro and then takes out his paraglider and glides off the top there.
Nice.
So the family is really, really great. And the big occasion is meeting up with Anne's oldest daughter. They've been trying to have children since they got married, more or less. After 17 years, they've got little Jack, which is wonderful. Little Jack Ray, who's about 6 months old now.
Listen. Listen, Adrian, I think you should prepare a speech on this, and then when you come back, give us a speech on the experiences of being in Phuket. How does that sound?
Oh, I can do that. That's for sure. Now we've had lots of exciting experiences.
Perfect.
And okay, I have that as I have a feedback on my life in Phuket. Okay.
Thank you, Adrian.
Okay.
Have an awesome one. Okay. Thanks, Adrian. And then 2 points. I'd like to thank everyone for their vulnerability today and for expressing your stories. I saw a difference in our speeches today with everybody just telling their story. It was a lot more, I felt a lot more of the confident energy in the room. And I think that's a great thing. So moving forward, I'd like us to challenge ourselves by telling a lot more personal stories and incorporating that into our speeches. I think that will also encourage us to give more speeches in the club, and it will make it easier to prepare speeches for our different meetings. So let's try that and let's see how it works. And then thank you, Thandeka, Toastmaster of the day, first time Toastmaster. Oh yeah. And lastly, on a point from my side, I'd like to make the announcement that the Bryanston Breakfast Toastmasters Club will be officially launching its official podcasting platform. And I'd like each of you as members to please make time with me to be a guest on our podcast. We will decide on what topics you'd feel most comfortable discussing. It could be anything from your Toastmasters experience to how Toastmasters is helping you in your personal work life, or anything that you would like to share with the listeners on the podcast. Don't worry, this is on a free platform, so we don't have to spend any additional funds running the platform. Okay. Yep, that is me. Hey?
Don't worry about it. How long is the podcast?
We're going to make it between 10 to 20 minutes, but cut it also into smaller pieces that we can also then share on our Instagram page.
Okay.
So bite-sized pieces. So yeah, that is all that I have on a point. Do you have anything on a point that has worked out?
No, I think I really enjoyed today's meeting. Matt, well, you doing really well, involving the club on a day-to-day, meeting basis. It's looking fantastic, really well. Yeah, so what Angela said, we need to actually just start putting together an agenda, but pretty much picking the ground to say, this is what we want to present on that day, and we strive for that. And then it just helps other individuals say, okay, cool, this is what we're presenting on the day, and that's how we get more attraction.
I love that.
So that would be good. But otherwise, this meeting I thoroughly enjoyed. So thank you, ladies, for joining us. It would have been an interesting meeting if you weren't here. We would have had fun. Cool. But yeah, that's how we can.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Zino. And Chrissy, Talia, thank you very much for joining us. It was a pleasure, a pleasant surprise seeing you walk in today. I know we did expect you, but it's always one of those things where, you know, when a visitor's coming, you got it at the back of your mind, but it's still a surprise when they walk in because you're like, wow, you actually came, right? And it's always exciting.
You're a real human.
A human.
Like, are you coming? Are you sure? Yes, I said I'm coming.
It's always such an interesting experience having people come into the club, and we thoroughly enjoyed the energy that you guys brought. And I absolutely need to give this to you, the participation from your side and the engagement. Total game changer. So thank you guys very much, and we hope you'll join us for our next meeting. And if at most not, and at most join our club if you ever do feel like you are getting value from our space. We also still encourage you to visit as many clubs as possible before choosing the club, because club culture plays a very important role in your personal development as a public speaker. Thandeka, we are wrapping up. Do you have anything on a point that you'd like to mention before we close?
No. Can I do it from here?
Yeah, you can close off the meeting for us, guys. We are over time, but thank you very much for your patience, and thank you for listening to our TED Talks. Have an awesome day, guys.
Thank you. Procedurally, it's supposed to be me handing the meeting back to him, and then he's at the end. He's after me, right? But sorry about that. So on a point, thank you so much. And that I don't know if you are aware, you are our first physical guests since the end of COVID, since COVID. Yeah, so it's the first time that we have guests, and it's two. Most of our guests have only been able to join us online. Yeah, so we really look forward to having you. I'm sure Matthew has already indicated that it was quite nice seeing you here. Hopefully you will grow. We have 6 monthly subscriptions, right? Yeah. And we don't have a, sorry? Prorated, yeah, so.
March and November.
Yeah, so we've just paid for March. I mean, for.
We just paid from March to November. If
Yeah.
they join next month, it'll be for the 5 months up until that time.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
But you're welcome to come back again as guests. If you're not ready to join yet, don't be strangers. Thank you so much, Mr. President.
Thanks, Adrian. We're going to close off now. Can have an amazing afternoon.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much,
Adrian.
ladies.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah.